What's up, guys? Welcome to the next episode of Barbells and Banter, where we kind of as always, went everywhere. So firstly, we talked about the female equivalent of big dick energy. We also talked about how to have a successful relationship. I know, geez, isn't that polarizing? And then we also talked about the three key mentalities that we advocate to get killer results and to ultimately become unstoppable. So enjoy the episode, and as always, like, share, and sub. Do the thing. As much as you think you're small, still bigger than the average person. Yeah.
Thank you, Jace. That's a great way to start the episode.
Oh, look, there you go. Starting off with compliments.
Tune in to...
It's not affirmation, is it? It's just a compliment.
Tune in to Beyond the Barbell this week, because we are going to talk about that exact...
Beyond the Barbell, we're mixing them together.
No, Beyond the Gym Floor, sorry.
That's a good...
That's why we do this one first, because I
That's a
think
good...
coffee...
If we ever just go, fuck it, we're just doing
one. We'll just call it Beyond the Barbell.
Don't steal it.
But we're going to talk all things
patent pending.
Dysmorphia.
Oh, really?
Muscular and business.
Jesus.
We're going to find out if Jace really has muscle dysmorphia.
Oh, fuck. I can tell you now I do. It was funny. I was like thinking about yesterday at the gym. I'm like, because I'm playing golf for a bit, and I'm like, I'm going to be so shit.
Oh, fuck. I was going to play today, but it's going to rain.
Yeah, and then I was like, do I really care that much that I'm shit at golf? I'm like, I only care when I'm playing.
Yeah.
But then, like, I don't wake up. So, like, I literally wake up every day wondering if I'm bigger or not. You know what I mean? It's like, have I made it? Have I made it to the motherland of, like, I'm massive?
So,
and I never do that about golf.
I feel like this is maybe the first time in my life, which is probably a very good thing, that I've had a shower that I can see out of to the mirror.
Oh, yeah.
It's bad. It's bad. Because it's that every day. It's like, am I leaner yet? Am I bigger yet? But the one thing it has done, I've been doing my vacuums every day.
Oh, yeah. I fucking fall off that wagon, eh?
I do my front relaxed, please.
Yeah.
And I do my vacuums.
Do you reckon, you know what I've got a weird obsession with at the moment? Is I feel like my body is wider in, like, my midsection. Not this way. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this bit
laterally.
I feel like it's thicker.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like it's... But this way, it's not.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah, so I don't... Like, I'm like, fuck, is that really going to... Like, am I just done?
Yeah. It's over. Too much oblique.
Yeah, too many deadlifts.
Oh, fuck.
I'm actually living proof. I'm living proof that doesn't thicken your waist. Pretty sure I've done, like... Out of the 20 years of deadlifting, I've probably done, like, 3 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Twice. Mine's all distension.
Yeah.
And I wonder if it's just from pushing food.
Yeah, 100%.
Because, it's like you get it all post-vacuum, get it all in, and then do a little flex. I'm like, fuck, bro. Like, my body fat's like at least 3% less than I thought it was.
It's definitely that, and it's the food volume. Because, like, even when I'm, like, fucking shredded, it's like you're never bloated because you don't have enough food.
Yeah.
So your stomach's just always, like, super tight.
Yeah.
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 No, I mean, it's bro science, but it's still valid.
My brain fuckery now is like ever since we got those photos back from Queensland presenting. I don't know if it was the shorts I was wearing or not, but it's like the disproportionate size of my legs compared to my upper body. I was like, I'm not having this.
Yeah.
This is not okay. I'm like, you're talking these days like everyone, like, they took the leg day thing too far. It's like I feel like an inverted Dorito and I don't like it. So like this week coming back from the flu, like every day shoulders. It's shoulders and chest. No, shoulders and arms, shoulders and back, shoulders and chest, and I'll do legs a little bit at the end of the week.
Yeah, the leg day thing's crazy. It's like so many people out there now with just like massive lower bodies. And just forget the upper body days. Even some chicks, like,
what makes sense for girls?
Yeah, it's just like you still want like
that's
just
the new look.
The bikini body though.
Yeah.
So I obviously just work off the criteria for the bikini body.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And so you still gotta have nice shoulders and nice upper back.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't just neglect your upper body altogether. Like you still want to have, like, it doesn't need to be as proportionate from a musculature perspective.
Yeah.
But it still kind of needs to look.
Yeah.
Still kind of needs to look like you work out.
I understand. Yeah. On this topic, I think I've made a mistake with my marketing campaign for the next month.
All right.
So I released a resource called Stronger and Hotter.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's what people want, right?
Mm.
So I was like, well, that's the problem. That's the outcome. So I'm going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And then I realized it's really challenging as a 33-year-old male who trains females to discuss what makes someone hotter.
Their personality, Ben.
Well, there is a little bit of that. But it's like, fuck, how do I navigate this now? I should have just said Lena.
Yeah.
But, hey, we're this far.
Hey, lay
Let's
in that bed
go.
that you
We've got
made,
3
my
weeks
friend.
left. There's 6 reels to come.
Yeah.
It'll be what it is. You'll either like it or you won't.
Yep.
Look, but one of my it's probably out by now. One of my headings is big dick energy. So
It's very confusing. I think I saw that too. I was like, is that speaking to the demographic?
yeah, well, I want to know what the equivalent is for,
like, so that
because it's not boss bitch. Boss bitch is boring. It's played
Boss bitch.
out. Like,
I think it's just because it like flows.
yeah, I know, but we need something better than that. Because big dick energy is awesome. So what's the? So in the reel, I say that girls can have big dick energy as well.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. Tell me in the comments.
Yeah, well, it's not the bigger equivalent.
Because I'm not. Yeah.
Well, it could be.
Look,
each to their own.
Look, I'm sure that there's guys who. Yeah, well, there will be guys who don't have big dicks that have big dick energy.
Yeah, we discussed that on the podcast because it's
does big
the other
tit
four.
energy carry the same swagger?
Look, I reckon it would, but it just doesn't sound good.
Yeah,
it would. You would have the same. Like I'm just assuming that if I was a chick and I had a massive rack, I would have that same energy if I just had if I was hung like a horse.
Yeah, because it's like that unwavering. Like but one of the last week.
Yeah, we talked about the status thing.
Like,
like it's all.
He must have a big dick.
Yeah, because if you don't have the other four things that equate to status, it's just like, this dude's like hung like a horse. He's either rich or he has a big dick. There has to be something.
So can you be a low status woman with big tits and be? And
it just makes up for the rest of it. I fucking know if you can.
Interesting.
That's that's the fucking cheat code.
Yeah.
That's where we talk about how a 3 could basically just have their pick of the bunch. It's just you just have to possess one asset that is overwhelmingly more desirable. Like
one attribute.
You're like, bro, it doesn't matter. Like if you have a job, if you're fucking broke, it's like you got a fucking mad set of tits. Like you hit the fucking the mother load.
Jesus Christ.
Well, that's just a little insight into my brain.
Yeah. So Jason's clearly a boob guy. Yeah, I've got that. I'm not though. I'm not a butt guy.
Oh, look, I'm not really that fussy. It's not. Yeah. It's like probably even in the search history. So,
Fucking hell.
There's no.
The podcast studio is just nearly warm.
No discrimination. No discrimination.
So let us know, what is the equivalent for women for big dick energy?
Yeah, and give us the cool name too.
Yeah, we have to.
You can't just say it's a thing. It's the.
If it's good, we'll put it on a t-shirt.
Yeah, and Ben will wear it in his marketing campaign next time.
I will.
Speaking of wearing things, what do you reckon?
Like
for the ear people, I've got the new merchandise on. I can't rotate any further than that.
Very nice.
Tatum's just laughing at me, trying to move.
I've got a bunch of client stuff in my box as well, so I didn't want to pull it apart.
Yeah.
But now I'm regretting it.
I selfishly just ordered my own stuff. But yeah.
Yeah, it was actually my friends were like,
the oversized
it looks great.
Is good.
Big
Pump
fan.
Covers.
How's the thread count?
Yeah, it's
Happy with
good.
the
Look, I feel like I'm just, it's like caffeine. A little bit's good, more's better. I'm the same with thread count. I'm just like, I need this thing to fucking weigh me down.
Heavy.
I want to wear it, and I want my muscles to be exposed to mechanical tension from the fucking thread count.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this one's good. It's just like...
I just made a boob joke in my head.
I think it's funny already.
You heard of the heavies?
The heavies?
You've heard them referred to as the heavies?
Oh, I feel like they have a lot of names.
Yeah.
Yeah. I reckon if there's one, part of the human body that has the most amount of names, it's definitely...
Yeah.
Yeah, a set of boobs.
Yeah, I think the arse is slowly getting there.
You reckon? Oh, yeah.
Why not do dumpy energy? Get going. Dump
No.
truck energy.
No. No.
Look,
We're not even like your PR team.
Yeah,
We're
I've got to
just
send
like,
it. I've got to run everything by Jess.
yeah,
past
it's
Jess.
nah, bruss.
there have been few occasions where Jason and I have gone flat out no. That was
Yeah,
one.
and that was like, we didn't even consult each other. We just was like, nah. Yeah.
I'm trying for the girls who maybe more blessed down in their lower body than they are in their
Well, you can work towards that. The thing is, you can't train to get a big set of tits.
Agreed.
Yeah, so it's probably better to lean into that.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, we can help with that.
That's something I can do. I'm not a plastic surgeon.
Yeah. It's like you can't train that, unfortunately.
Mm.
Imagine if you could. Oh no, don't worry. Imagine.
What about like
if you could just do a couple of exercises per week to. No, not that.
Well,
not that I need to.
Apparently, there's. I think if you look on TikTok, there are suggestions.
What's a muscle?
They won't work, but there's suggestions.
What's a muscle? So wouldn't you get like
there's like
myofibrillar? You get myofibrillar hypertrophy.
Yeah.
So you'd get an increase in series of parallel and diameter.
Maybe. Look, maybe.
Just hook a weight to it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
Jesus.
Let's move on.
Yeah.
Oh, so I have a problem. My shoulder hurts.
Again?
Yeah, it hasn't gotten better.
Have you had?
No, it's been good.
You did get it treated.
I had. No, well, we tried. You know, but it was the first time. So, you know, sometimes I feel like there's, you need a little bit of.
Yeah.
Got to break the first barricade down to get in. But it's no good.
You've been doing all your.
Oh, I have. I've been a good boy. I swear on Cleo and Maverick.
Look out.
There you go.
Wuss.
That's a big word.
Definitely did it.
Yeah, I've been doing them.
Yeah.
And but I've obviously still been training hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
massive, bro.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like the more people that compliment me, the more I have to pressure to continue to.
Yeah, I fucked up. I shouldn't have told you look good.
Yeah. I think I'm getting fat though, because like I'm in this period where, like, when you rebound out of like being a little bit leaner and you just look full.
Yeah.
But then when you tip over the other side of that, so I'm just in that phase right now, and I'm like, this is coming. I've been here before. And it's like, you getting fat, bros.
Yeah.
But anyway, shoulders.
No good.
Yeah, it's kind of just playing on my mind a little bit.
I found a new stretch this week.
Is it going to help my shoulder?
Not now, because it's already sore.
Well, we're having a conversation. I want you to fix my shoulder right now.
As a preventative.
Do it anyway, Jace.
Yeah, I'm just going to do it, of course.
So like the Dow?
Yeah.
The Dow stretch, elbows on the bench.
The tricep one
hands.
and the upper rib cage.
The tricep one that's for your thoracic.
Well, Ali gives me that one for my triceps, okay?
It's a good lat stretch, and obviously it creates good extension through the thoracic, which most people don't have, especially if you work at a desk a lot like Jason and I do.
Yeah.
Which is potentially why your shoulder hurts, sir. Because we sit too much.
Possibly.
And we do this.
Yeah, banana back.
Yeah. So I never really loved it, that stretch.
Yeah.
I feel a little bit better afterwards, but I never sit into that stretch and go, ooh.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I never.
Yeah, it never hits like as good as something else. I agree.
So I saw someone do it without the dowel, arms, and this has probably got something to do with it because we're actually not mobile enough to effectively do it.
100%.
Instead of having the dowel and being completely supinated, it was more neutral grip. Arm straight out ahead on a bench, on the bench instead of your elbows on the bench.
So you don't have the dowel now?
No, so no dowel required. Kneel. So then, because you don't have the dowel and your arms are long, you can actually do like a cat-camel variation.
Interesting.
So you can go into the stretch, couple of long breaths, and then you can, which that would be.
I reckon I could do that in no pain because I do like straight arm pullovers.
Yeah.
With the bar.
Yep.
So that to that
would work.
Yeah, but this.
Yeah.
Nah,
so then over the stretch, you can increase your supination as well.
Yeah.
As you reach new ranges.
Yeah.
But then you can also put in obviously the flexion extension, the breathing, getting the shoulder blades to move around the rib cage.
Yeah.
It's a very effective warm up.
Okay.
I liked it.
I'm going to do it, and I'm going to hope that it works.
Yeah.
Because I'm at that stage now. Where I'm just like, shoulder blade, just get it to move in different directions and loosen the muscles around it and pray for the best.
So I posted a warm up the other day that was that. Regress thread the needle. So like just elbow through.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And then a face pull with the Z press.
Wait, that's the regressed version?
Yes.
Oh. Sure. This is all I get to do.
Yeah. Yes, Jason.
Jesus.
Face pull and then alternating Z press. And then with obviously the Z press, you have to make sure you get that upward rotation.
Yeah.
And then don't face pull for your delts, face pull for your shoulder blades.
Yeah.
So actually get them to retract.
Yeah.
A little bit of external rotation. Very nice.
Okay.
Got many saves, so I'm looking forward to hearing how everyone else found it.
Well, what I think is the issue with my shoulder, because I'm an expert now, shoulder injuries.
We've had a few of them.
Yeah. Is I reckon there was two things that were wrong because I don't have any bicep pain anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And we addressed the bicep pain. But now I have the discomfort still in the back of the shoulder.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Back of the shoulder's not fun.
Nah. Not when you're sleeping too.
So what did you do?
Now I'm going to go back and...
Oh, you don't know what this one is?
So I think it was
one.
I think it was the same. I think it was there at the same time.
Yeah.
Because now I don't have the pain in here. I can train arms no problem.
Yeah.
Well, I couldn't even train arms.
Because bicep tendon pain is going to be like tight lat, poor rotation.
Yeah, and that's what we've been working on to move this rehabilitation forward.
Yeah.
But I just still have this like little kind of pain in the back. But yeah, so that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so what I did is I looked up a bunch of funny shit that happened over the week.
Yep.
And fuck, man, you've got to hear this story, right? It's like, I just don't understand why someone would do this, right? So there's a guy I think it's in Belgium. So I didn't do a lot of research on this, all right? I just like did enough to like have a quick conversation about it. So there's a guy in Belgium. He's like a TikToker or something, right?
Made off the back of only assumptions.
So he faked his own death, right?
Legend.
Just to see who would go to his funeral.
No.
So his family were in on it, bro. So his wife and his kids, like, they put up like, like not like a eulogy, but something similar on like, social media, like, oh, dad, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so then he just like rocks up to his funeral.
Sup, Holmes?
Yeah, like just to see who would go, just to see who cared.
Had he won the lotto or something?
No, it was it's a clout chasing.
Okay.
He's an internet personality.
Yeah, right. Okay, so it was like Logan Paul did it. Or
so like
something.
I was like, hey, TikTok,
Yeah.
I'm gonna fuck with people and fake my own death.
Got it.
And faked his own death, and
Got it.
everyone went to his funeral. So his whole extended family
Thought he
and
was
people thought he was dead, bro. And he just rocks up. So that went down a little bit more of a rabbit hole, and I found a story of a lady who actually got buried alive. Yeah, fuck, wild.
Wait, by mistake?
Yeah, she wasn't dead. Yeah, imagine that. Yeah,
I don't
crazy. Anyway.
How? Tell me more.
Nah,
more about the story.
that one scared me, so I stopped reading it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was going to bed.
Do you know it used to happen all the time?
Yeah, I can assume.
Probably because they thought she was dead. She just passed out or had some weird thing, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then she got buried.
Yeah. So back to the first story first.
Yeah.
The funeral thing.
Yeah.
I was like, my brain was like, why would you do that logically? I was like, if you won a bunch of money,
Oh, you would want to
and
see
you're like, who am I going to take care
Maybe
of?
Steph and I should do that just to see who gets the estate.
Mm.
But we'll wait till the end.
Yeah.
So that we can hear all the stuff that they say about us. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh, that was the best eulogy.
Yeah,
Like,
you
ooh.
can have the most.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. You're getting the house. You get the Jeep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's where my brain went. But a cloud chase, I understand. But fuck, imagine getting that phone call.
Yeah, and would you be upset? Because like it kind of looked like people were like real happy, obviously, but kind of like, wouldn't you be a bit pissed?
I would be.
I would be upset
Yeah.
because you shouldn't have to like.
Your relationship with those people will never be the same.
Imagine the next time he dies.
Yeah.
You're just like, hang on, they're like poking him and shit.
Yeah, look, I wouldn't be angry if he had money. And it was a test to see who got the money, and I passed.
yeah.
I'd be like, I'm less upset now.
But he was
'cause
just
you're
a
gonna
jokester.
give me
Like,
100 grand.
You know, stick a couple of boots into the side of him just to make sure he's actually dead this time.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like I can't go through this again, bro.
Yeah, like, and what's the turnaround time as well? Like,
It was pretty quick by the sound of it. But
yeah, but just that the morning of
yeah,
losing
wild,
someone.
bro, wild. It's crazy. Anyway,
Yeah, it's tough.
so I have a question for you.
So wait, we got to go back to the other one.
Oh, okay.
So being buried alive.
Yeah.
So when I was in Ireland, what else do you do? Just whiskey tours. So the best historic tour I did in all of the UK was in Ireland, and it's called the Whiskey Museum.
Right.
So they basically tell...
Couldn't be more Irish.
No. They basically tell the history of Ireland through whiskey. So you go through like how the whiskey's made and each stage. And
Do you get to drink it? Or?
Yeah.
Oh,
at the
man.
end you do. Yeah.
Of course you do. It's
Of
Irish.
course. So if anyone's been to Dublin and gone to Jameson, which everyone goes there, like, sorry, but you didn't go to the right one. This one's way fucking better. So what used to happen is I couldn't tell you like the numbers, but like,
Yeah.
I think we were talking about this on the podcast maybe about, so Irish whiskey goes through the process 2 or 3 times. Scotch go through, I think, 1 more.
Yeah.
And so on. So that's how they get their names.
Yeah.
So during Prohibition, everyone used to just make their own whiskey, and there'd be so much ethanol, I think, in it that it'd actually knock you unconscious.
Oh, right.
And there's a fucking saying that I can't think of that's going to ruin this whole story because I can't think of it. But there's all these like colloquialisms that we use that come from people passing out because they've had bad alcohol.
Right.
But yeah, they used to bury people with a bell on their finger. Because like you could be 3 days to come around.
They might be dead. They might not. So let's put a bell on.
So if you died in the pub, like you could have died
Yeah.
from alcohol poisoning, or you could just be unconscious. So they would bury you and then leave.
But if you're unconscious, can't you tell?
Not back then.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
who knows
true.
how to check a pulse in
Yeah.
like the fucking 1500s?
Back in the day, I still feel like people died the same way they do now than back in the day. They just like had no idea what it was. Like, oh, he's got the sickness.
Yeah.
Like he's done. It's like, what? The sickness.
Yeah,
Like,
or
okay.
he was evil. Like
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, God didn't fix him, so
Yeah.
he fucked up.
Yeah. It's like, yeah. Even the witch trials, like
Yeah.
there's, I think that's in Dublin too, actually. Might be maybe Glasgow,
It
Edinburgh.
sounds like something like
Somewhere
that, yeah.
there. There's this big lake that's now just like a park because there's no water there anymore.
Yeah.
There's more witch deaths there than what's the main one? Salem witch trials. There's more happened here than there, and they're the most popular ones. Jason's looking at me very blank. He's like, I've never heard of that.
Yeah. It's like, what?
It's where Sabrina is because it's named after.
Oh, okay.
I think. I could be making all of this up. Anyway, so their test
So
was...
a bunch of innocent people died
So
because they thought they were a witch.
the burning at the stake is like, well, if you live, you're a witch. If you die, you're not. So you don't bring disgrace to your family if you die. And then in the UK,
It's
they
the
drowned
story
them.
to make people feel better about killing people.
So they tied rocks to their feet,
Yeah.
threw them in the water, and were like, well, if you live, you're a witch. And if you don't live, like, you die. It's like, guys, you've got this around the wrong way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking wild.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway.
So I have a question
Mm.
for you.
Uh-oh.
How fast
Pressure.
can you run 100 meters?
100.
Yeah.
16. No, it was faster than that, wasn't it? 15.9.
Okay. So can you believe that a man ran 100 meters in heels? Actually, have a guess how fast this man ran 100 meters in heels.
12.
Yeah, 12.8.
So,
How big was the
how
man?
tall are the heels?
He looked pretty ripped.
Oh.
And he had like long legs. But either way, he's fucking got heels on.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
what
yeah,
sort of
yeah.
like
They were like black. They were like, I don't know, like chick shoes. bro.
like 6-inch or like?
I don't fucking
couple?
know. Like,
Okay.
I just
So
saw
this
the
is
picture.
important information.
Well, it was like, I don't know, picture
Free.
like your typical movie where there's like a chick in a red dress and she's got some
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
black shoes on that are heels. Like, it was
Probably
like,
like 2-3 inches.
they're
yeah.
a set of shoes. They were a set of heels that like you would wear out to like a dinner. Like
Yeah.
you're not wearing them to walk the Melbourne Marathon. Like, you know, they were like,
Yeah.
I thought it was impressive. 'Cause
It
I
is,
was
it's 100% is. But I'm just like
12.8 seconds.
straight to justification.
This man can outrun 95%, even more of the
Way
population.
more
Yeah,
than that.
98% of the population with a set of fucking heels on.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is insane.
Yeah.
I mean,
the only
I
reason
gathered that he is a
asked-
sprinter.
The only reason
in
I asked
general.
about the heel thing is because when you sprint, your heel doesn't touch the ground.
It's still impressive
Definitely.
because it's got a little. Like, what if you?
Yeah, it's not
There's
a
no
stable.
support.
It's not a
It's got
stable
no.
environment.
There's no
at all.
shoelaces. It's not a sock fit.
Yes.
You know.
But a good running technique would strike.
Well, this
on
man,
the ball anyway.
This man has impeccable running technique there. Because I don't know what the world record would be for running 100 meters in heels.
But he has it now.
Look, he has it in my eyes.
Yeah.
You know. So my last question before we get into
short episode if this is the last one.
Oh no, we'll talk about. We're going to talk about some mentality stuff, you know, and relate that back to training, you know, because that's what we do.
The thing that we actually do on the podcast.
Yes, correct. How much? So if you had to babysit a dog full time for a rich family, how much would you take per annum for that job? So let's say
Full-time?
Michael is you guys aren't related, and then Michael is a very successful businessman.
Oh, it's the shit dog.
Don't worry about the fucking dog. He had a job description and was like, I need someone to look after my dog full time, which would mean feeding it, training it, taking care of it, making sure it gets to sleep, wakes up, whatever. Like, or whatever fucking dogs do, right? How much would you take for that job?
There's a lot of variables here, Jason.
Yeah, I know. And I just want to know, how would you come to a figure?
Do I have to live with the dog?
Yes. It's a full-time gig. You are the dog's nanny.
Live-in position.
You are the dog's nanny, full-time.
Yeah, so you're an au pair.
Yes.
Dog au pair.
Correct.
Okay, all right.
So this is like, you know, you can't go home.
Yeah. Well, that and like a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to know what your number is.
Yeah. I would have to make... Yeah, see, interesting. 20-year-old me would take like 50, 60.
Yeah.
33-year-old me, 200, 250.
Yeah. Yeah. So a US billionaire who now resides in London put up a job for a dog nanny. And the figures here, which I can't confirm up in pounds or US dollars, but either is still more than Australian.
Still pretty much double.
$127,000 a year.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
So there were that many applications for the job that where they had the job listed had to take it down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Imagine,
Yeah.
Imagine if you were like you said, like 17 or 18 years old. It's like, fuck yeah.
I'm gonna live in a mansion and feed a dog.
I work to serve a dog. It's
Yeah.
fucking mad. Especially
Yeah.
if the dog's good. I need to see if the dog is a shit dog though.
Yeah, I guess like you could
Probably a little fluffy one.
Yeah,
I
I think
could still
it is.
coach, so that maybe I take a little bit off because I could still do some of my business.
Well, it just depends like what the conditions are.
Yeah,
It's like if he was like, you can't do anything,
yeah.
but
Your
serve
sole purpose is the dog.
to serve this dog.
Yeah. What do you do when a dog dies?
Well, your job's over.
Yeah, they don't live that.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking
It's
too.
not
It's
long-term
like
career strategy.
I feel like it'd kind of like, you know, people are like, oh, I'll just work in the mines to get ahead.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it that some people don't leave that.
Yeah, except you would kind of gain some skills from that.
You get a lot of money.
You can come home and get a job.
I wonder if you're like able to go out and shit though. Like, there's so many terms. Like,
So my price now is like, well, you need to replace my income, and you need
Correct.
to replace the fact that I can't live with my wife.
yeah, and you need to replace the fact that like I'm not really developed. Like, it just depends like what else you can do.
Yeah.
Like, if you can't develop your skills and stuff, it's like 6 years. It's like you could make
Yeah.
more money on the other side of that with the compounding
Yeah.
effect of education and making more money. And
But yeah, if I was 20 and I could still work on my laptop,
yeah.
and like just the dog had to be.
If I could go on a holiday, it'd still, yeah, like maybe you get to travel with him and his dog goes with him everywhere.
Well, that's yeah.
Imagine
Yeah.
that.
So I went to I've told this story 1,000 fucking times, but it's the best story ever.
It actually happens.
Yeah, I went to France with my client for a full month because he had a racing event there. And when he invited me, he said that his previous trainer had been offered to go the year before and had said no because they wanted a salary for the whole time they were there.
Yeah.
Flights, accommodation, food,
And to pay them for the time.
travel, all of that
Yeah.
was paid for.
Yeah.
Literally paid for nothing.
And then they wanted money per day as
And
well.
they wanted like, no, you have to pay me $500 a week to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what the actual figure was, but they were like,
Yeah. Well. Yeah. He probably want $1,000 a week, to be honest. Like maybe
Yeah.
more. Like, you know,
Yeah.
to replace his income.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
Obviously,
I don't know how I feel about that.
obviously that trainer didn't listen to beyond the gym floor and have a business structure that they could still earn an income when they were out of the gym.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. I can see both sides to the story though, because like, what if that? Like, he obviously doesn't just work for that guy. He didn't just work for that guy though, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Same as me.
Yeah. So if he went away, his business needed him to be there, and it was poorly ran.
Yeah. Not
that this is the podcast to be talking about that. But
yeah.
I don't know. I can see both sides though.
It's a challenging situation now. More challenging now, but not really, actually.
No, it'd be even less challenging. I could just be like, I'm going, like, my clients don't care where I live.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They still get the same stuff. You just got to have a good internet connection.
Yeah, so I was probably 2-3 years away from going online full time, maybe 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just did check-ins and all that.
Yeah.
I think also my perceived value of the trip was much higher because it was like, you go into the Le Mans 24-hour race. Like, if you're into cars, like...
Yeah, I could have seen the value in it just from like getting free accommodation.
But yeah, like staying in the north of France for 4 weeks.
It's like all you got to do is bring your spending money.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
You dog.
Yeah, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
So yeah, that was an interesting one because that was like I didn't even get paid for the training sessions.
Yeah,
it was just like you just come.
Oh, so you were on pro bono or something?
Yeah.
For the trip.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, I also was at a restaurant. And the client deemed that the €40 steak that they brought me was too small. So he got me another one.
How small was it? 150 grams?
Yeah, maybe 150.
Yeah, I feel like that's a normal size.
Yeah. It was fucking delicious.
Yeah. So I'll have 2 of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's 80 euros? Like $130?
It was 40 euros, which would have been an $80 steak. So I had 2 of them, $160.
Ew. That's more expensive than any steak I've eaten.
For steak and chips.
Yeah. I haven't had French. I haven't had. I keep going to.
We should go to Julian's.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of other ones that people tell me go bistro. I don't know, something bistro something. They're all bistro something, right? Entrecote or something.
Yeah, heard of.
Yeah. There's a couple of. There's a couple of places, but you know, it's one of those places you got to book fucking 6 weeks in advance. Like, I don't know, I'm doing 6 weeks. Like, you know.
We'll book.
I don't want to be that guy that doesn't know what he's doing in 6 weeks. But
have some
for dinner,
spiced bone marrow at Julian.
Yeah, right.
Elite.
I ate everything. So
you haven't been to France, have you?
No.
Yeah.
No. Italy's as close to France as I've been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paris
This really
is
interests us, to be honest.
Yeah.
You know, we're talking about going back next year.
Yeah, mad.
So the plan is, what did we say? So I think we're going to fly to Portugal.
Oh, yep. I'm coming.
Yeah. So Portugal, we're going to do
Can we both be out of the country at the same time?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, just the business will run itself, hopefully. Lagos, Benfica, I think. Lisbon, maybe. I don't know. Something like that. Whatever.
I'm in.
And then we're going to go from there to Italy.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to do the south this time.
Yeah.
So we did the north last time, which was cool. But the south is much more appealing.
Yeah.
And like Steph's got family history down the south, and then it's not far to get to Malta from there for us. So we can just spend a couple of days kind of just doing the whole family history thing.
Yeah, man. I was actually talking to someone about that, doing that in Ireland.
Yeah. I'm really intrigued about it. As much as like I'm not a very cultural person, like we don't do much like, you know, Maltese stuff, and like Steph's family is actually very cultural. Like they do a lot of Italian stuff. Like But yeah, like it would be cool to kind of just see, like you can still see where my dad's my grandparents grew up, and where my dad's sisters were raised before, because they moved here and then my dad was born, so they were still still there. Half the family was his immediate family still from there.
Yeah,
so that's kind of cool. Yeah, and then we got to go back to Greece, of course, because it's the best place in the world. Yeah. So we'll do that. Maybe hit.
It's so funny. I'm like, you've got to go to Paris, and you're like, it's not really on our list. And you're like, Greece is the best place on earth. I'm like, it's not really on my list.
Because it's just like water and chilling out, the beach, just eating food.
Yeah. And if you've like, I enjoy that for about 3 days, but also if you've seen my wife, she does not do well in that environment.
I just turned into a natural. It's just like people start talking to me in the native tongue. I'm like, I'm not from here, but I am.
I go very dark very quickly. My wife goes pink, white. Pink,
it's not cool.
White.
Got to pick your spots.
Yeah, but I'd really like to go to Portugal. We only didn't go during our honeymoon trip because of the time zone. It was the week we were planning So we had like week off, week of work, week off, week of work over 4 weeks, so Amy could still work. And we had to choose between maybe it was Paris or Spain, and it was an extra hour and a half. So for her to do her calls was like, she was going to be up at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
So we opted out, but I'd love to go there. I really want to go to the Algarve coast.
Yeah, I'm down to go anywhere, to be honest. I just need a book holiday.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going away for the weekend. What's up, guys? Welcome to the STCfit podcast, where we talk about all things nutrition, training, and how to live your best life. If you want some more information about coaching, our free resources, and other fitness-related content, be sure to check us out on our website at www.stcfit.com. All right, let's get to the episode. Not the weekend. I'm going away for the next couple of days.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to turn my phone off.
Yep.
I don't know if I can do it the whole time, but I'm going to try to.
Yeah. I'll miss you.
Yeah, look, if it's urgent, send a homing pigeon to Wye River.
No, I'll send an actual text message.
Yeah. When I say turn my phone off, it'll be like all things outside of the line of communication.
Yep.
But yeah, 17-year anniversary tomorrow.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That's sick.
17 years. Someone asked me like how long I'd been with Steph for, and they were like 18 years old, and I was like, they were like, oh, that was when I was born that year. It's like, oh, cool, like way to make me feel fucking old. But that's happening more and more often.
Fuck.
Yeah,
that's cool though.
Yeah,
it's really cool.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you very much.
Especially because you still like each other.
Well, most of the time. Yeah, I feel like I probably. So if we have a list of things that irritate each other, mine's probably like two meaningless things, like squeezing the toothpaste from the front, or not filling up the car fuel. Like she's probably got, fuck it, like he leaves his socks everywhere, his shit, like his gym bag's always everywhere. He doesn't fucking clean up. He just put stuff on top of the bench. Like there'll just be so many things.
Yeah.
Eats on the table with like no fucking placemat. Like I'm just a fucking wild child, mate. So I'm very fortunate. What do they say? Like marriage is just like finding someone who's willing to put up with your bullshit.
Legit. It's about willing to do the work, right?
That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, here we are. All the ups and downs. Hasn't been many downs, which has been good.
Yeah.
So
that's good.
Yeah. I don't know if
wholesome.
I guess, reflecting on it, like if someone was to ask me for like advice, like I don't even know what I could impart to like get here. You know what I mean? Like I don't feel like, oh, I've made it. Like we've only been married 5 years.
Yeah.
But I mean, obviously, I was just wanted to make sure. But
fuck that. It's expensive, man.
Yeah, well, that was one of the biggest reasons. Like, I remember when we were younger, like people were just like, so without going on a tangent, it's no one's fucking business when they're getting engaged. Like, don't fucking ask them. Shit like that pisses me off. Like, when are you having a baby? When are you getting engaged? Like, man, that shit is just out of fucking control sometimes, and like it happens when it happens. Yeah. So I just don't like. Find a better way to conversate with people if you talk like that.
Yeah.
The
baby one's like the worst.
Yeah, especially because I know people very close to me who can't.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm never going to ask anyone.
I actually go
ever.
out of my way now because I'm comfortable enough. Like when it was raw and fresh, I was like, fuck, like I want to headbutt you.
Yeah.
But now I'm like in a position where it's like, okay, I've dealt with it. It's fine.
Say it as a lesson.
But if you ask, I'm like, oh, we're trying, we just miscarried.
Yeah.
And people are like...
Yeah, well, then they don't know what to say.
You're shrinking the ball. It's like, well, don't fucking ask that question, my God.
Because there were so many times when people used to ask us, like, when we're getting engaged, like, what am I supposed to say? Like,
next week.
I make like 70 grand a year, and I want to buy a ring that's like $15,000 or something. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, do you, like, I don't have to say that to you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, I don't have the money yet.
Yeah.
It's like, what the fuck? And then I remember, like, when it got to the point where I actually legitimately was down for it, and I got the ring and everything, and I was like super nervous because I had this thing like that wasn't even anywhere near the amount of money I had in a shoebox in my wardrobe. And I'm like, I was showing my mate, I'm like, I got to get this thing out of my fucking possession and on that woman's finger as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So then everyone kept ruining it though. Like every time we go somewhere, like we go to Europe or we go here, they're like, oh, it's going to happen. And I'm like, well, I was just so anti that. Yeah. So I was like, well, I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
Because you think it's going to happen. It's not special anymore.
Ruined it.
Yeah. So then I just did it when we were like walking the dogs up the Yangs and shit. And like I remember Steph was like, you've heard the story, but she was just fucking ripping on me because I bought a bum bag.
Yeah.
It had like the dog treats and the ring was tucked underneath it. Yeah. But yeah, I just got wrecked doing that. But yeah, that's kind of cool. So not that that's the anniversary, but like, you know.
Yeah.
This one's our, I don't know,
Dating.
anniversary of like being together as a couple.
Yeah.
So
Going steady.
That's it. Well, next year's 50% of my life.
Wild.
It's wild. Yeah, that's insane, man. Yeah.
Wild. It's cool.
But yeah, the only bit of advice I could give someone is don't jump at the first kind of sign of struggle. I think that's probably the best thing. Like,
yeah,
it's really easy to like just like remove yourself from friction. Just be like, especially these days, like just be like, it's too hard, and you know, kind of just, I'm just gonna move on.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've done a really good job. Just like, you know, when things were kind of troubling, just to try and find a way to work it out. I mean, I guarantee, like, I know things don't always work that way, but
yeah,
I think that's been like one of our biggest strong points. Just like both very resilient people.
Yeah. You're both planners too, which I think is useful. Like, communication's really, really important in that environment. Like,
yeah.
I saw listening to someone talk about it the other day, and she was like, the number one predictor for a successful marriage is how they boiled it down to how you respond to when someone
I watched that. She was like, I had a really bad day, and then they were like, what happened? You know, like kind of just those little cues that like
rather than like, well, I fucking had the kids all day. Why was your bad day so bad? Like, that's like, oh, okay, thanks for that.
Every now and then you can fall into that habit. Like I sometimes, I'm like, bro, it's not a fucking competition. Yeah. Like, just open up your ears and just listen. Yeah.
So, that she said that was like the number one predictor. Yeah. That was the woman that I was like, I listened to the whole podcast and I was like, I'm in love with this woman. Yeah. Because she had this mad English accent. Yeah. And then I saw the clips online and I was like, okay, now I'm more in love with this woman.
Yeah. She terrifies me.
Because she's smart and super hot.
Yes. Yeah. I'm like, I'm so attracted to you, but you're so terrifying at the same time. Yeah. I think a lot of I think as you mature in a relationship as well as a person, I think it's important to, like, I was really hard work at the start. Yeah. Because I was like a rat bag kid with like no boundaries. Had a pretty toxic relationship the previous period and then just went off on my own and just did whatever. So I totally acknowledge that I was hard work. But it just you have to get to a point where like you have to kind of know that you've got to meet the other person kind of in the relationship like 50-50. I feel like before, like to Steph's credit, like, you know, she probably could have just said like, this isn't really good for me because I'm kind of giving more. Yeah. And I think that's probably another thing and like I obviously matured as a person and that kind of changed. And then I did a lot of work to kind of make it the other way. And I feel like now we're kind of good. But I think on top of the communication thing is just like really having a sit back and just thinking about like what you bring to the relationship and like what you bring to the dynamic. Yeah. It's all good and well to like be a provider and, you know, be that sense of strength and stuff like that. As long as it kind of balances out, you know, I think that's kind of important as well. So.
I almost had the opposite experience, to be honest.
Yeah.
So I was super demanding, but never really considered that I'd be really hard to live with. We actually went through a separation and my best friend like fucking eyeballed me. She's like, I'd fucking hate to live with you. Yeah. And I was like, ouch. And she's like, think about it. Everything you do is like to 10 tenths. So anyone around you who doesn't do that feels like they're failing. And I was like, fuck.
Isn't that the realization you needed? Yeah.
Okay, after therapy. I was like, okay, so I'm actually really fucking hard to deal with. Yeah. So it made me re-level all of my expectations.
Yeah, I still have those reflections now. I'm like, bro, you're not an easy dude to... As in for me, like I sit there because sometimes like I just get the shits, like whatever, like, you know, life's stressful and I end up just like becoming this little fucking moody ball of just fucking tension, you know. And I'm like, bro, chill the fuck out. Yeah. Like, you are hard to work with. Yeah. Or if someone doesn't do something that like you know you're capable of doing, it's just like you get frustrated and shit. It's like, not everyone's perfect. You make mistakes all the time. Yeah. Like, I think that's a really important trait to have if you want to have a successful relationship.
Yeah. And then half the times, like, the things that you're the best at are almost a coping mechanism anyway.
Yeah.
Well, they started. It's like, Ben, you're good at that thing because you're a control freak. Oh, yeah, okay. So she doesn't have that dysfunction, which means she does. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway.
Mentality time.
Don't want to let anyone else in on any more of my personal secrets.
Fuck. We have, in the last 6 weeks, talked about some stuff.
Next
I like
thing,
it.
they're going to know how long our dicks are next week.
They should be able to tell from the energy.
From the... Oh, that was a good one. Sorry. I'm so immature that talking about that shit just fucking cracks me up. Yeah. Anyway,
I love that we started this episode with trying to find the opposite term of big dick energy for a woman and ended up on relationship advice.
Yeah, hey.
These are two dudes definitely take relationship advice.
Look, I've got the runs on the board, man. You know what I mean? It's like talking to the Jack dude about getting big. It's like he fucking knows what's up.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
All right. If my wife listened to this, she'd be like, I've had to fucking endure some shit over the last 17 years. It's like all he says is bullshit. It's just like I just had to cope with it.
Yeah. Should be proud that you figured it out.
Oh yeah.
Ish.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I'm doing something right.
Should be like, oh, I fixed him.
Yeah. I wish you fucking did.
She was the one. No, don't say that because there's too many girls out there trying to fix men.
Oh, true. Yeah. No, not fixed, but like, you know.
Save, fix.
Yeah. Well, we have that conversation sometimes. I'm like, I feel like, you know, 'cause she's like, oh, maybe you'd be like, you know, a real successful businessman and whatever. I'm like, oh, I'm pretty happy with how things are going.
Yeah.
And I said, like, if you weren't around, I said, like, I'd be fucking still, like, hitting up fucking nightclubs and shit, fucking coming
just
home.
partying.
Yeah, coming home on Monday morning and stuff, like, just living for the next week. And I said, I definitely wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. So, because I wouldn't have had, like, the focus, you know.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, definitely. What's up, guys? So before we move on, just wanted to make sure you guys know about our free resources on the website. So go to www.stcfit.com/resources and take advantage of our free body transformation guide, our SBD guide, and our body transformation quiz.
So what are the 3 factors for mentality outside of not relationships? For
getting results.
Getting success in the gym.
Well, it's funny you ask that because, like, we know these mentalities carry over to everything. And it's not, like, you know how we debate, even just on a really subtle level about this, like, how you act in the gym is not how you act everywhere else. I would argue adopting these mentalities is one of the reasons why you act like you do outside of the gym and inside of the gym. Yep. So it's not really like the working out that is like how you behave in the gym. It's like you have these mentalities and that is in the gym's a reflection of those mentalities and everywhere else in your life, if you possess these mentalities, is a reflection of that too.
I feel like we almost should change it from your intent in the gym.
Yeah.
From action to intent. Yeah. Because it's like if the intent is to chase clout or front or whatever, that's why you train. Yeah. Or if you train to get laid or whatever, like it's not going to carry over into like being successful in the rest of your life.
You might, go to work to make money, train to get laid, action outcome.
But yeah, when it comes from an intention standpoint, it's very different. Yeah.
So 3 mentalities that we live and die by, and we call them mentality because it's way cooler than mindset. Just throwing it out there. Just want to
I'm surprised how little pushback we got.
We want to distance ourselves from that pack. Yeah. I just don't subscribe to some of the shit that people throw out from that perspective in that space. And I think mentality for us just sits with who we are, what we talk about, what we live by. So
definitely has a stronger connotation to it.
Yeah. Yeah, and I feel comfortable talking about it. When you say mindset, I kind of shiver a bit. So the first one's growth mentality. Yeah. And then we have ownership mentality. And then we have the be-do-have mentality. So starting with growth, Ben, how would you describe that to somebody who's like, what the fuck does that mean?
Someone who believes that their current position isn't their final position.
Yeah. They're not fixed.
Yeah. So everything in life is changeable.
Mm-hmm.
skill set, personality, outcomes, all of those things in particular.
Yeah.
Where you are right now doesn't define where you'll be tomorrow infinitely.
Yeah. Yeah. And what would be an example of someone who doesn't possess a growth mindset in their own journey towards their fitness goals?
I'll never be that jacked. I'll never be that lean. I'll never be as strong as them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those types of
never
things.
going to be able to lift that much.
Yeah.
Never going to be able to master this deadlift. Like,
Yeah. Or I'm just like, I'm the fat kid or whatever. Just like anything, a really big warning, like red flag for it is like the identity thing. I am.
Yeah.
Like, or I have.
I have. Yeah.
Like, stop that. Like you and I have talked about it before, even like, again, keeping it, not necessarily keeping it in training. Like we've talked about that we both get anxiety.
Yeah.
But we avoid saying we have anxiety.
Yeah, of course.
It's like, I don't want to give it that much power over me.
Correct.
I get it, but I don't have it because it's not going to stay here and it doesn't stay here for permanently.
Correct.
So that's just like a little bit of I'm winning this battle kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if I see that language, it's like, I am weak.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, well, you're not. You just haven't trained enough. Like,
you
can be stronger. I think those types of attitudes are what will separate potential and staying the same.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess even if you just draw like a line through like the medium of the people that you work with, the ones that get really good results, the ones that get okay results, and the ones that don't, it's like the mentality is a big component of it. And it's like that belief, in a lot of cases for those people that don't really kind of achieve it, it's like they just don't really have that like vision that their current situation is flexible, their current situation is malleable, it will change, they will get better, they will, if they try and persist and on a plan that is actually set towards growth. So I think that's another caveat. Like, it's all good and well to have a growth mindset and believe in yourself, but you need to make sure you're not just like, I've tried everything and you just done the same thing every time. It's like you need to go and like reflect and be like, every time I go to the gym to try and get in shape, I bomb my calories and I train 5 to 6 days a week and all I do is cardio and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, it's not working.
Yeah.
The growth mindset doesn't make you go back and do that same thing.
Yeah.
It makes you sit back and go,
be reflective.
What is happening here? Why am I not really moving where I need to go? And what do I need to do to change it? And it's probably in a lot of situations for that specific example, I need to change the approach.
Yeah.
The intention and everything's there. I can show up. I can work hard, whatever. It's just how I'm doing that is different.
Yeah. Yeah. 100% agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, shout out to the Carol Dweck book,
Great
Mindset,
book.
which unpacks this really, really well.
First 150 pages are a must.
Yeah.
And then just pick your industry that you want to kind of, I guess, unpack some of the mindset stuff in there.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah,
really,
super
really
valuable. And like you said, I think we're in a position now where we attract people that at least have the growth mindset there.
Yes.
And I think when a lot of trainers talk about like attracting better clients. We talk about this a lot. Like as a client going to look for a trainer, it doesn't matter. People come to me and say, "Oh, but I don't want to compete."
Yeah.
Because they say I train competitors. I'm like, like 25% of my book.
Yeah, same.
Like it's not the only thing I do.
Yeah.
But if you what makes a competitor great is being willing to suck. And another less eloquent way of when you said like, what is growth mindset? It's like being willing to be shit at something.
Yeah, being willing to struggle at some point.
If you're willing to suck at something for an extended period of time, knowing you'll get better at it, then you have it.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't matter where you are, for lack of a better word, on your journey, you can go from there forwards. And if you have that mindset, you'll be successful no matter what you do.
Yeah, and I guess like when you look at people who get results in the gym, no matter what their endeavor is, usually those characteristics carry over to other elements of life, because when you walk into the gym, you don't have what you want. Yeah. And it's hard. Yeah. And to actually get what you want, you have to take yourself through like the most uncomfortable and challenging situations. And each week's not, a linear increase in progression and whatever. And it's because of all three of the mentalities that we're going to talk about are the expression of that. And that's why those people usually get good results in the gym and usually kind of do well outside of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. So we're going to move on to ownership. Now, I like this ownership one. because I can call myself out of my shit, because I feel like if out of all of the mindsets, it's like you can kind of fall into this trap a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like no matter how big or small, like there's people on like one end of the spectrum that are just like, bro, you need to have a fucking hard look at yourself, like overall. And then every now and then I'm like, hey, bro, like it's still your responsibility. Like show the fuck up, you know? So how would you describe the ownership mentality to people?
Yeah, so we lean into that extreme ownership, which is, we'll go with a life one. So the most powerful thing anyone's ever said to me, I think, in my entire life was everything in your life right now is your fault.
Yeah. Was that when you did the personal development workshop for the sales thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that changed the trajectory of my life, to be honest. I was like, oh, yep, okay.
Yeah.
I'm the piece of shit.
Because you had a growth mindset, it didn't make you feel bad.
That's right. I'm okay being shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. And it's like finding the way we term it is whether it's your fault or not, it's still your responsibility.
Yeah.
So like your entire life is your fault. It's like if you have a fucking chronic illness right now, probably not your fault. Like, but the life that you're leading still your responsibility, whether you make the most of it. And people talk a lot about like comparison and all that kind of stuff. We kind of go back and forth of, is it valuable? Is it not valuable? Hormozy put out a video recently. Like, there's people that have had worse circumstances than you that have achieved more than you. So that in and of itself means that it's up to you.
Correct.
And I think you can either look at that as hurtful or too hard or
offensive or whatever. Yeah.
Whatever. Or you can take it on as a positive and go, well, actually,
I still have the ability to.
I have control over this. I have input on this. I can decide my own reality. I can change my life to be whatever I want. I can be 90 kilos instead of 58. Like, you know what I mean? I can do whatever because I'm in control of the outcomes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to. I think the best part of it is like, even no matter what the situation is, or even when the chips are down, because you don't really think about this ownership stuff when things are like going your way.
Yeah.
Because you don't really think about anything when things are going your way. You're just riding the wave. It's like, oh, everything's working. It's mad. But when things aren't going your way, like it just gives you that sense of power after you've had that moment of like grief or whatever that everyone has total right to, and you go, hang on a minute, I'm in control.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you go through a breakup, there's a tragedy in your family, you get injured, you know, whatever it is. You have that period, and then after that, you're just like, this isn't going to get any better unless I take control of the situation and I actually have the power to do something about it, to move myself wherever it is that I need to go.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really, really powerful characteristic for every single person. Obviously, we talk a lot about businesses and the place to do that. Very, very, very valuable thing there. But even in the gym and stuff here, it's like, you can tell your coach whatever it is. You can bring up any excuse about the weekend and the this and the that, but there's always that person who's way busier than you, who's got way more on their plate, who makes way less money. They still eat to their goals. They still bring their food everywhere they go. They still go to the gym. Like, you know, like we talk about, like people rocking up to the gym at like 4 a.m. and whatever. Like, you still have the ability to do all those things.
Yeah. I have a really specific anecdote coming to mind. So we spoke about Maddie's results at Nationals last week and how like only 4 people hit their third bench.
Yep.
It was like, oh, you could blame the ref, you could blame the timing of the day, you could blame whatever you want.
Yep.
When you talked about the grief thing, it's like we had a conversation after the lifts because Mads missed 2. It's like, it's okay. Like, you need to feel how you need to feel. You can be angry, you can be upset. You've hit the weight before and we missed it today. It is what it is. Feel what you need to feel.
Yeah.
By the end of the day, it's like, right, so next time, you don't stay in this auditorium more than an hour at a time. You make sure that your nutrition is timed before an hour before the bench press. You make sure you've got this available to you. You make sure you've got this and this. So this doesn't happen again. Yeah. And it was like, you need to feel how you feel, and you haven't done anything wrong. It's probably looking at how everyone else performed. It's probably not your fault you missed the bench. Yeah. That looks visually, based on the data, that there's external factors that have impacted your ability to succeed in that environment. Yeah. But it doesn't matter.
Correct.
We still need to find how do we do it better next time and make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah. And I would argue, even as a coach, like the clients that possess the ownership mindset the best, you have the best relationship with too.
I was going to say,
not the best relationship, but it's like you have the best conversing over things that involve their training, their goals, like, you know, their nutrition and stuff. Because like I've got clients where they're just like, look, man, I just didn't fucking show up last week.
Yeah.
Didn't eat my diet, didn't do this, didn't do that. We have a much more kind of fluid, less bumpy and rocky relationship, and things move much smoother because nothing's left off the table.
Yeah.
Where like if you get the client who's like, they're disappointed and they probably might feel a little bit like just avoiding a situation where, you know, there's friction or they just don't want to take ownership like as well. They're just like, oh, you know, I've done everything to the maximum of our ability.
Yeah.
And they haven't.
Yeah.
Or it's like, it's your program or it's your diet or it's this. It's like.
So I think what I was going to say before I did the Maddie example, I was like, no, keep it to training. But it's like the people that don't possess this trait are the ones you refer to as like energy vampires.
Yeah.
When you hang out with them.
Yeah.
Because there's always something wrong and it's always someone else's fault. And when you leave, you're like, fuck me.
Yeah, bad.
That's exhausting. Like all you've done is complain for like an hour and a half and not provided
and not actually
any solutions
taking any
or taking any ownership
of
a choice that you could have made that might have been different for a different outcome.
Yeah, I think the older you get, the more aware you get of that too. Especially if you're not that person.
It gives me, for the TikTok heads, it gives me the ick. Just like instantly just like, oh, I can't be here.
Yeah.
Right,
it's like, I need another 3 months before I see this person.
Yeah, especially like, in the, like you were saying, in the fitness space, it's like I've got some of the stuff that my clients, particularly the mums, do to get the outcomes that they get. When someone's like, this little thing over here is hard, I'm like, mate, you're so cute.
Yeah.
And like we've been going on like the to-do list and like the having the 3-hour morning routine and shit. It's like, motherfucker, if you saw the days of some of these, and then you go into their bio and it's like, I train high achieving women. Yeah. It's like those high achieving women have done more in their day before you finished your morning routine.
Correct. Yeah, that
shit, like that's the trigger, I think, for, and that's when you say like you get along with clients so much better. If you have a coach who has ownership mindset with a client who has ownership mindset, you're almost like fighting for blame. It's like, so using that Maddie example, the reason I said we is because I was there.
Of course.
I didn't drag her out of it and be like, you need to go outside. I suggested it a couple of times. Her partner was there, so she hung out with her, and I'm like, no, you like fucking get out of here. And I should have pushed it, and I didn't. So when we left, I was like, we, next time, because we're both responsible, we're both a team, are going to do this. It's not, well, you fucked up because you didn't drink enough water. Like, who the fuck does that help?
Yeah, even last week when we were talking about giving the feedback about the lifts.
Yeah.
I think like even as a client, like you want to have that coach where it's like they're partly taking responsibility for why you can't do what you're doing right now, just to a degree. Like, or they're parts of the responsibility in that. Yeah. Like obviously you got to take the feedback, you got to watch like the resources, and you've got to execute the things that they talk about and actually do the workout. But like they still need to make sure that you're aware of those things or taking on board like the things that they're talking about, and never talking down to them like it's your fault and the reason why your squat's not better is because you're not doing what I'm telling you to do, and you're, you know, all of those kind of things as well. So it's pretty, even just from an awareness perspective, like a lot of clients will think that like their coach is like above them just in terms of like authority and whatever. And it's like, yeah, from a skill set perspective, but not from a coaching perspective. Like, you know, you should be on a higher level playing field with both people taking ownership of their parts of the relationship. Yeah. So you're just something like for those people to be aware of when they do have those engagements.
Yeah, well, think about it. If you've got no one in a room willing to take responsibility,
there's a problem.
Nothing gets done.
Correct.
If you've got one person in a room willing to take responsibility, you end up with an uneven relationship. Yeah. In that one person's kind of barking at the other one and kinds of like, for again, lack of a better word. I hate how all these like Instagram words get in my head. But it's like it's a toxic relationship. Yeah. It's like one person's barking at the other one.
It's too heavily swayed towards one person.
Yeah, it's like every check-in you're going in like, fuck, is he going to tell me off today? Like, and
that
shit
can just lead to like things being left off the table too.
Correct.
And then that's where it starts to become highly dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then you've got two people in a room who are both looking to take responsibility for the situation.
Yeah.
That's when you get ultimate outcomes.
Everything's on the table.
Yeah. Even if you have a disagreement, it's just like we're both looking for what fucked up here.
Yeah.
And this is probably the solution.
You would much rather both people taking responsibility than no one or one person.
Yeah, and I've made a lot of mistakes as a coach, and if any coach who says they hasn't is lying to you.
Yeah.
And every time I've said I fucked that up, I should have.
Yeah.
I've never had anyone go, yeah, you should have, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
But the times where I've gone, fucking hell, sort your shit out.
Yeah.
That client's going to leave.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Because you're not willing to actually find the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we're both very passionate about ownership.
Yeah. Yeah, we fucking stayed on that one for a while, didn't we? So the last mentality is my favorite, though. What's up, guys? So before we move on, just a little bit more information for those people who are curious about coaching. Maybe they want someone to take care of their training, get a bit more specific, take it to the next level, or even just keep them accountable to all of the things that they need to do. So again, you guys can go onto the website, get a little bit more information. It's got all the information on there on what's involved to take your training to the next level. You can hit the inquiry button, and then we'll get on a strategy call and see what we can do for you.
Yes.
It's my favorite.
Yep.
And I know this one, for a lot of people, it's going to be like, oh, well, duh. But it's like, you would be surprised at the amount of people that don't just sit there and unpack, like, I'm not here because my actions aren't reflecting my identity, or my identity is not reflecting my actions, and my actions aren't giving me the outcome.
Yeah.
They just think like, oh, it's so obvious that this is the way it is, but no one actually kind of sits back and applies it.
Yeah.
So we call it the be-do-have mentality. I don't even know where it came from. I can't remember where we found that.
I think it's one of those things that I've been saying it for so long, I don't know if I made it up.
Yeah, well, I'm sure somewhere along the lines, it's standing on the shoulders of giants.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we got exposed to that concept, and I just like cannot get out of my head how practically empowering it is.
Yeah, imagine having learnt this strategy when you were like even 15.
Yeah, especially now, because you can see what, because everyone's so open, and I guess gives everyone like not even just a window to their life, like fucking the whole spotlight.
Yeah,
you can really start to like kind of get some good insights to like what people who you want to kind of have, embody, whatever, do. And you're like, cool, I need to be that person.
Yeah. So the surface level version of this is like, think of a bodybuilding photo shoot, powerlifting prep, whatever. You don't start the behaviors at the finish line.
Yeah.
You don't start behaving like a powerlifter on comp day. You don't start behaving like a bikini, photo shoot, lean, whatever athlete on that day.
Yeah.
You start behaving like that in advance until eventually you actually become that person. So for 26 weeks, you behave like a powerlifter, and then you do the powerlifting thing.
Yeah.
The concept that explains first you be.
Yeah.
So you embody all the things that person. But I put a post up last night actually about this, like totally by accident. Have a think about the person that you wish you were. What do they do? What do they think? How do they see themselves, and what actions are they executing on a daily basis? Are you doing them? Yes or no?
Yeah.
If you're not, you need to start. Or you're
Correct.
not going to be the best version of you possible because you're not executing them. So that's the be-do-have strategy. I guess the second layer to that, and the way we get clients to get their head around this, and what takes it another step from a cool saying to put on a t-shirt to an action step, is actually listing out the core values that you have in your life, and then looking at where you express those core values. So it's really easy. You can literally just Google core value list.
Yeah.
The workshop that we do is list 10 that resonate the most. Usually you'll get like a list of like 100.
Yeah.
So you can find the 10 that stand out to you the most, just stand out to you, that are qualities that you wish to embody.
Yeah.
Then grab 5 that you're doing really well, and do 5 that you're doing really poorly. And then when it comes to training, when you're going to set your goals around training, you make sure that each one of your goals actually is attributed to one of the values.
Yeah.
Interestingly, what happens is you stop setting lose 10 kilos.
Yeah.
You start setting process-based, deeper why fulfillment-based goals.
Yeah.
Rather than subjective shit that you actually don't care about.
Surface level shit that you'll, at the first point of friction, you'll jump.
Yeah, it's not like, I just want to lose a bit of weight, I want to get a bit stronger. It's like...
There's more to that.
Yeah.
Just haven't unpacked it.
Yeah, and if you do set a time-sensitive goal, it's with the knowledge that it is an expression of a particular core value.
Yeah.
So one of ours is pretty consistent. I think at least it's always top 3 for me, is growth and learning.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm not taking strides forward somewhere in my life, I'll lose my fucking mind.
Yeah.
I hate it.
Yeah, I feel ya.
So training's a really good way for me to do that.
Yeah.
And it's probably why I have to be careful of it, because I know it's a value that I don't goal jump too much.
Yeah.
Because the growth part comes from the hard new thing. And the learning part comes from the hard new thing. The growth comes from staying in it.
Correct.
And getting the outcome.
Definitely.
So it's like, no shiny red balls, or you'll actually miss out on this fulfillment element of that value.
Definitely. It's great awareness.
Yeah. So being conscious of that and making sure it's like, no, you said you were going to do this, finish the goal, and then you can do that other thing that looks sexy at the moment.
Yeah, I think the other benefit is, like, everyone's going to experience a bit of imposter syndrome. Like, everyone's going to have that doubt, and sometimes the doubt is not from a lack of growth.
Yep.
And people think that they need to possess something before they go to get it. Yep. So they're like, when I get fit,
then I'll get a trainer.
I'll get a trainer, or I'll get shredded for the photo shoot.
Yeah.
Or like, when I get shredded, I'll go fix my shoulder. So, or it's like, I can't go and embark on this endeavor because I'm not that person. I don't have those things. Yeah. And it's like, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
How do we get there?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
How do we become this person? How do we become a leader? How do we become, stronger, fitter, whatever it is that you want to do? You've got to look at that person who has all of those things and what they're doing. And it's like, I need to start doing them things right now.
Yeah.
It literally paves the path to the destination.
Yeah.
And it just gets you out of your head of like, I'm not worthy right now because I'm not that person. I don't have those things. It's like, that's how you get them.
It also takes you a long way from the comparison thing.
Yeah.
So it shrinks imposter syndrome, which is fucking epic.
Yeah.
Because that holds so many people back. But it also takes away that comparison, because like, and I've told this story 100 times on the podcast. Again, I'm just recycling stories at this point. Maybe I need to do more exciting shit. So I have more stories.
I have thought about that personally. I'm like, maybe I need to just jump out of a fucking plane or something.
So I had the, let's call it, privilege to train with Will during a pro raw prep. Yep. Will Crozier, for those who don't know, at the time, probably the best we won. So he was the best 110 kilo powerlifter in Australia. Then I trained with Anthony Krusner for 3 months leading into his pro raw prep. And I left with them totaling in the 900s, me totaling in the 600s. But it's like, well, I do everything they do.
Yeah.
Day in, day out. So it's like, there's no point me going like, oh, well, fucking, if this is bullshit, I'll never be like them, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, I am like them. I just don't get the same outcome.
Yeah.
But from a fulfillment standpoint, I look back at powerlifting and it's like, it was so rewarding to me.
Yeah.
So rewarding. So I'm not angry that I like didn't make it to fucking pro raw or whatever. It's like, I did all the things.
Yeah.
Just didn't have it, basically, which is fine. And I think a lot of people, when they're comparing themselves, like, Jess is the best example. The amount of text messages I get per week about Jess is insane.
Yeah. Jess, who works for us.
Yes. Yeah.
There we
Voldemort.
Go.
We almost got to the end, Jess.
Yeah.
We've said your name 6 times now.
Yeah.
Of like, she's ridiculous. I can't believe she's that strong. And I'm like, yeah, she's going to run a 25-minute 5K as well. And I'm like, what the fuck? And she's like, and I just said to someone yesterday, I'm like, she's a very special athlete. Yeah. It's like she's 18 months postpartum now. Like, weapon. If you follow the steps that Jess follows, you don't necessarily, you're not necessarily going to have the glutes and abs that Jess has.
Yeah.
Or veins in your delts like Jess has.
Yeah.
Or 150 kilo deadlift and a 25-minute 5K.
Yeah.
But the rewards that you can get from that behavior are very, very similar.
Yeah.
So
and you
that's where the be-do have thing
yeah
matters to your life.
Yeah, and that's a great example of like I could only imagine what it would be like to just be immediately postpartum, not have this body that you're used to having. And there's two ways you can kind of look at that situation. You know, it's like, this is it.
Yeah.
Or it's like, I have the ability to change this.
Yeah.
And I need to, so there's growth.
I was going to say, that's the growth thing, right?
Yeah. And it's like, if it's going to be, it's up to me.
Yeah.
Ownership. So I'm going to hire a trainer. I'm going to, you know, do all of these things, whatever it is, track my food, et cetera, et cetera. I'll take ownership of it. It's not that I've had a baby, like I can't get in shape now.
Yeah.
And then it's like, okay, who's the person that I either once was when I had the physique pregnancy, or it's like, who's the person that I need to embody to get myself to this physique that I want, this level of performance that I want. And that is the B.D.E have. And that is literally the three of them in a nice little bow where a lot of people will sit wherever in their own journey and have not possessed one of those mindsets enough to take them, you know, where they need to go.
Yeah, it's funny. I think James Smith had her on as a women's health specialist. She's Australian. I want to find out. I assume she's from Sydney because she was on James' podcast. But anyway, I'd like to get her on here. She said like we need to get rid of the get your pre-baby body back.
Yeah,
like that sentence should never be uttered ever again because it's like it's not the same.
Yeah,
but if you have what you just listed, all of those things, it doesn't. It's not a thing.
No,
because where am I now and how do I grow?
Yeah.
This doesn't define me, so I don't have to think about pre-baby because who I am now is who I am now. And then this is the person I want to be and these are the behaviors that person exhibits. So I'm going to do that. Yeah. Yeah, that's fucking cool. That.
Yeah, and if you've been there before, you should have a self-belief that you have what it takes.
Yeah.
That's the one thing I will lean into. It's like rather than like not using the pre-person as like the person to get towards, but it's just like even just what it took to get there, it's like you have it. Like you should have that belief and that mindset of growth that you can get back there. Yeah. It's like it's in you.
I think something I've learned in the last maybe 18 months, worked with a couple of, so you guys don't see Emily too much, but I'm going to shout her out. I think her son's the same age. And you've seen her, like, her training videos and stuff. Fucking weapon.
Yeah, it's
like,
sick.
Could step on wellness next week if she felt like it.
Yeah.
And she's the one that goes to the gym at 4 a.m. and
that's sick.
Is in great shape and stuff. And I with her have always been like, but you got a kid. Like, you don't have to be fucking peeled and fucking strong all the time. Like, almost trying to put the brakes on a little bit.
Yeah.
And I've sort of learnt to be like,
no, you can.
No, we're okay.
Yeah.
And I can see when the warning signs come up, like the check-ins are a little bit like, we're starting to get a little bit neurotic. It's like, hey, chill. Like, you had a week off. It's okay. Yeah. Like, your kid was sick. It's okay. Yeah. But we can still achieve exceptional outcomes. Yeah. Yeah. Having a child's not an illness. No. You can still be a weapon afterwards. Yeah. Yeah. And that applied, like, obviously that conversation went down like training mums, but the same applies for if you're studying, if you got a new job, if work's busy, if whatever, like, if you have all of these, we talk about in our content, getting results regardless of the circumstances. That's one of the things I have in my CTA. Because it's like, over a long enough timeline, I guarantee I'll get you a result. Yeah. If you're willing to do what we can do every week. Not what's perfect, what we can do every week. And that comes from growth. Well, I fucking can't train this week because something happened at work. Like, what? Either A, can you?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Can.
Or B, is 1 week going to make a difference? Yeah. A once-off behavior, because it really is that bad you can't train, is probably fine. Every time there's an obstacle in your way, every 2 weeks, you stop training. Like that, you're missing one of these things here. Yeah. So yeah, I think tying all of those things together, fucking unstoppable.
Yeah, and that was the theme of the video. Was like, you possess these, you will be unstoppable. Yeah. It's true. Yeah. You will be able to achieve extraordinary feats in your own training goals, let alone anywhere else. If you make sure you're aware of those mindsets, mentalities, and when you get out of, I think what's important as well is like just being aware of when you're slipping out of them.
Yeah. Or having someone in your corner who can.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. I had a really good chat about balance last week.
Oh, yeah.
I did an accidental podcast for my client in her check-in. I looked down, I'd been talking for 5 minutes. Like, I'm going to shut the fuck up. Have fun with that. Let me know what you think. She's like, oh, no, I really appreciate it. So she said, like, made the comment around, like, you could see there was an internal struggle.
Yeah.
Wants weight loss, but wants to be social on weekends. She's also a fucking weapon in the kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Nice.
post shit every week. I'm like, bro. Like, close-ups of brownie with caramel melted through it and chocolate chips. I'm like, oh, she's like, I don't eat it, right? Like, I have, like, one bite. I'm like, sure you do, but...
Yeah. Because I would eat the whole thing.
You fucking oath. I'd be licking the bowl. And yeah, she was like, just trying to manage that kind of balance. And I was like, well, balance exists, but over a timeline.
Agreed.
What is the timeline that you're evaluating balance? Is it every day?
Yeah.
Is it every week? Is it every month, year, season of life? Like, I was reading, we'll talk about it probably more on the other podcast, but this book called Die With Zero. It talks about life seasons.
Oh, I've got to read that.
It talks about life seasons, which I think is really cool as well. It's like, it's the whole like grind in your 20s, build in your 30s. You know what I mean? Like that shit. It's like life seasons of when things are important to you.
Yeah.
So yeah, like what time frame are you looking at balance over? Your diet phase is only 10 weeks.
Yeah.
And then you've got 5 weeks of maintenance calories.
Yeah.
And then you've got your birthday and a trip to Bali.
Yeah.
So
I honestly think people aren't aware when they have the balance.
Yeah.
Like they're not aware of when...
I think they apply balance as a metric that's too short.
Like when there's abundance, let's just use that as the term. When there's abundance, they're not aware that there is. And then, but when there's scarcity, so scarcity in time, calories, your body fat, they're more drawn to the fact that there's scarcity and not abundance.
Yeah.
So I think maybe one of the powers to navigating those periods of scarcity is knowing when you're actually in abundance.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which we obviously have our
caffeine's kicked in.
We have our yearly planner that helps with that a lot because it's like, look, you've only got 5 weeks left.
Yeah. And even like you saying in 3 weeks' time we have like a down week, I'm like, oh, fuck yeah. I'm like, let's go.
Yeah.
Like,
walk through a wall for the next.
Yeah. Don't care. Like, just got 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And then it's like we have a little bit of downtime and we go again kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it comes down to like, even just planning. Like we talk about that communication of like macro planning the year. So it's like, this is when you're going to be dieting. This is when we're going to be consolidating, which is maintaining. And this is when we're going to be growing and improving. Maybe, and it's like, this is what's involved in those things. And this is what you can do. Because I know with my guys now, who've been through like serious phases of restriction from like contest prep and stuff. I'm like 3 meal a week, untracked, go out, enjoy yourself. It's just like, if the 3 meals turn into multiple and you're not happy with your results, we have the conversation. But if we don't we're good, the results don't change. It's like, okay, maybe 1 or 2 free meals, but let's just keep it, and it's like really highlighting the fact that like, I want you to enjoy yourself. I want you to have that time. I want you to, do whatever because there's going to be a time of that scarcity.
Yeah. I feel like that's that internal struggle that everyone has with everything. Like the B.D.E have part of this is most restricted by the voice in the head that says, oh, but maybe you should rest.
Yeah.
Or
you
what
should,
about balance?
You should live your life.
All of those, that noise that comes in, especially nowadays, because it gets good
especially
clicks.
It's noise and it's pressure.
Yeah.
Because you get noise from yourself, but then you get pressure
from external as well.
And it's reinforcement sometimes of those voices, and you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like I can see with somebody who's not mentally fortified, and that probably comes with maturity. Yeah. They can't block that noise out.
Because there is a time for rest.
Correct.
There is a time for us to have we call it our 13th week, for those who don't know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah.
We have a down week with work where we don't create anything new.
Yeah.
We just do our job. And just having that conversation and knowing it's coming it changes everything. And it's interesting too, because how many clients and this is speaking to people with coaches, how many people come in and just go, I'm not doing enough right now to justify paying someone. It's like, well, this is actually a really important part of it. Like you said, the abundance part, being aware of the abundance and managing the abundance. So it's not too much. It's not too small. Setting you up ready to go into the next block. Like, that's a really interesting insight.
I'm glad to have brought some insight to this podcast for once. Ben coming with all these fucking quotes making me feel stupid.
Not on this one.
No, just in general. just when I sit in this seat.
I'm just a bro on this one.
I'm just a bro all the time.
Yeah. All right, I feel like that's long.
That's good. How long was that, Tam?
125.
Oh, but we're Joe Rogan this up, man.
Tam's so upset.
Yeah. We're trying to get the viewership up on YouTube. So
Tam, we recorded last week
Yeah.
on Friday, so Tam had 3 days to turn around over the weekend, the first podcast. So Fit's due to... So you don't know what happened behind the scenes.
Oh, yeah.
So we launched our campaign on the other side of the business, which required Tam to make 4 short clips.
Right.
Which I got to him Monday at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, okay.
Which would you... Tuesday.
You're a weapon,
at
Tam.
4 o'clock.
You're a weapon, mate.
He's like, the first one, I sent him 1. And he's like, I should be able to have that like late this week, early next week. I'm like,
no, this needs to be done now.
We have the call with Brooklyn tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll do my best. And then an hour later, I was like, cool. So all 3 other ad videos are up. He's like, all right.
Well done, Tam.
And he went, I think he went and had dinner or something and like just didn't reply. I'm like, I've killed him.
It's just like, my food's ready and I need to walk away from this.
Yeah, he's either really angry with me and can't speak to me right now, or he's dead.
Oh, we appreciate you, man.
So shouts out to Tam.
Yeah, that's it.
There hasn't been a situation where either one of you have put stuff on me and we haven't been able to get it done.
Yeah.
So just fingers crossed.
We'll just keep
so
we'll just keep putting
pushing
him in. Yeah. How late can we get this?
But you get a week off in 3 weeks.
Yeah, that's it.
By off, I mean nothing.
Yeah, you still got to do shit.
Yeah.
All right. As always, like, share, sub, do the thing.
5-star review.
5-star review. Give us some comments. Let us know some feedback and stuff just on like this new kind of, I guess, like, I don't know if it's a style. I think this is just us, but we really would like some feedback just on like, how the potty's going and what you guys think. And if you have anything you want us to discuss as well, I think that's also another good thing because this is purely just for you guys and obviously just for us because we have fun.
A little bit for us.
Yeah, probably the first half an hour is for us.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see you next time.